Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Crowe.
And I'm Melissa Crowe.
And we're the founders of Mitten Getaways Glamping Company. Thanks for tuning in to our first episode of the Mitten Minute podcast. You're getting a really good deal here because the show's actually 10 to 15 minutes long.
Dad jokes for days.
Mm-hmm.
Our show is all about our journey to open a glamping resort here in Eastern Michigan, and we'll focus on three aspects: planning, development, and guest experience.
And those topics might change because, well, this is the first time we've hosted a podcast and we really don't know what we're doing.
If you can't tell.
Yeah. So let's dive in and pretend that we do. First, we do have to make sure that everyone knows what glamping is. We do expect there might be some viewers out there who aren't in the campground and RV park industry, like our friends and family and even some of our potential future guests at our resort. So, Melissa, why don't you tell everyone what glamping is?
Okay. Glamping is a combination of the words glamorous and camping. It's a form of camping that involves accommodation and facilities more luxurious than those associated with traditional camping. So, like Mike always says, think real beds, heat, air conditioning, a bathroom, and a kitchenette. And all of it's set up before you, it's all set up before you arrive.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do anything.
Just walk right in.
Yep.
Kind of like a hotel room, except in nature.
And better.
Yeah, a little better. So that's glamping. What about us? Who are we? Ladies first.
So I am Mike's wife of almost 5 years. Mm-hmm. And we have two daughters, Jocelyn and Jolene, that I stay home with. And then we have baby number 3 on the way. We'll find out if it's a boy or a girl this week. So super excited for that. But our hobbies at home, the girls and I love to go outside and explore. The girls love bugs and gardening and dirt, mud. And I love making homemade food and gardening, fresh vegetables and herbs and all that fun stuff. That's just a little bit about me. And you?
Yes. You answered a lot of questions about me passively by describing yourself. So, yes, I am husband of Melissa and dad to Jocelyn and Jolene and baby number 3 on the way. I'm also a pharmacist. That's probably pretty unusual to a lot of people listening. That pharmacist got into glamping. I enjoy... besides spending time with my family, soccer, and playing golf once in a while. It's been a while. It's usually a scramble lately. The dads will understand out there.
You love running too.
Yeah, that's also been a while. This glamping thing's taken up some time. Yeah. So, how did we get into glamping? Well, we kind of discovered it by accident, actually. In 2021, a couple of years ago, we were looking for a home and came across an inspiring piece of land. We thought we'd put an event barn on it, perhaps, and some overnight stays there. We really didn't know what glamping was at the time.
Mike kind of was like, honey, do you want to go... This was our date night. Do you want to go look at a piece of land? I'm like, sure. And we spent 2.5 hours walking this piece of land for a date night. Mm-hmm. So pretty romantic. But we did that a lot of date nights, actually. But the land actually sold before we could put an offer on it, which was totally okay. They gave us time to refine a lot of ideas. And like the event barn, we eliminated that because we knew it would take away from the piece that we wanted to offer our guests. Mm-hmm. And a little later, we discovered the world of glamping. There's actually an American Glamping Association, an annual glamping show in Colorado. And we heard about it, and it was in 2 weeks. We got tickets, babysitter, and we went. Yeah. So we joined the American Glamping Association and attend the show in 2022. And we're going to go again this year.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe be in a position to buy some glamping structures at a discount.
Yeah.
So, that show really spurred on our vision and turned us into aspiring glamping operators, as we're categorized at the show, or were last year. We're aspiring operators, but we're way closer than we were last fall to that. Our goal right now is to establish our resort in our area of the state, Eastern Michigan, as Melissa said. Michigan being the Mitten State, as it's affectionately nicknamed, hence our name, Mitten Getaways.
There are a few glamping operations in Michigan. So we're definitely not the first, but we'll be unique. But how are we going to go about our glamping style?
Baited question. But yeah, for us, we're true Michiganders, both born and raised here. We didn't talk about that earlier, but we've kind of coined our term for glamping as Michiglamping. Maybe a little corny, but
He made it up.
Yeah, it just sounds right. But our Michiglamping goes along with our mission, which is to provide unexpected getaways in tranquility. And that Michiglamping that we've coined is composed of 5 core tenets. And that's having a variety of accommodations, not just one type, year-round glamping, having privacy for our guests by spacing out their sites, offering seclusion with the location, but still being drivable from major cities in the southern part of the state, and having lots of stuff to do on the resort. And well, a lot of people ask, well, what accommodation types are you going to have on the resort? Want to handle that one?
Sure. Well, we want to offer more than one type of glamping structure. We actually started out with just domes in our head, I think.
In the very beginning, yeah.
But we found we wanted to give our guests more of a choice so they can come back and experience the resort in different ways each year. Mm-hmm. Currently now we intend to have 3 domes, 3 safari tents, 3 novel pole tents, 2 wagons, and 1 teepee. Mm-hmm. So the accommodations contribute to the unexpected part of our mission.
Yeah, a lot of these structures aren't available in Michigan, so they'll definitely be surprising to a lot of our guests. You were asking me earlier what a novel pole tent was, and I just categorized it as that because I didn't want to use any brand names, but it's a really, really cool structure. A lot of people have seen at the glamping show, but nonetheless another tent to have on the site, different from a safari tent.
That's what I was wondering.
So not only do we want to have a variety of structures, but we also want to have structures that can endure Michigan winters, so we can have that year-round glamping we talked about. We really think our state is beautiful all seasons, mm-hmm. And winter glamping, as it's called, seems to be kind of a growing trend. So what we're planning for our structures is that they'll all be insulated, have radiant heat, and wood-burning stoves, except for maybe in the wagons. It's a little tight in there, but a wood-burning stove. And mini splits or ductless heat pumps, so that our guests can come and enjoy staying there in the winter as well.
Yeah, we want the accommodations to have space between them, to give our guests some privacy. They'll be we plan on having a community space for the guests to gather, but when they go back to their glamp site, we want them to have the privacy and seclusion.
Right. Yeah, and when we say privacy and seclusion, a lot of people are like, well, what's the difference? So for us, we've selected land with very few neighboring residences. We want people to come out and feel like it's just them and nature and not see a bunch of neighbors around. That was kind of one of our main criteria when we were looking for land. And that's where the tranquility aspect of our mission comes in, is that being secluded and just being with nature. But we also wanted to be relatively close to major cities in Eastern Michigan. For us growing up, when we said go up north, it meant driving 3 or 4 hours or more up north in Michigan. And sometimes that's not always feasible. It's nice to be able to go maybe just an hour or 2 away to get away somewhere secluded. So that's part of the unexpected as well, as providing that seclusion and accessibility. People being like, holy cow, this is right here down in southern Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, and not having to waste time driving, a lot of time driving.
Yeah.
And as Mike says a lot, we didn't want this to be like a backyard Airbnb. Nothing wrong with that, but that's just not what our vision was, or a hotel that we're just providing between activities. We wanted to provide activities too on the resort. So like hiking, swimming, kayaking, fishing, snowshoeing, all stuff our family does and we love. We want to provide that for other people and their families.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like your dream to have a garden and a greenhouse on site that people can come and enjoy, and we can provide things from it to them for during their stay. And farm animals too, right? Maybe some fresh eggs for our guests when they come in. So we're really excited about it. So those are our kind of five core tenets of our mission. And we know that when we execute on those, that our vision to become a destination pillar of our community should come to fruition. What we mean by that is we want to be a business that's supporting local businesses in the area, partially by sending our guests out to visit them, to go to restaurants and do shopping in the community, but also utilize some of those businesses on our site, like maybe having bakeries provide some cupcakes to have on site for our guests, or maybe doing some catering from local chefs. So that's what our vision is for Mitten Getaways Glamping Company. So
that's us and our dream and our business, and thanks for listening to it. Mm-hmm. We've been on social media for about 6 months because we wanted to invite people to follow our journey. We thought it'd be fun to allow people to follow along with us on the adventure. But so where are we at on our journey?
As if you don't know, but our guests may not all know, especially those that haven't been following us yet. But after months and months of searching for the land, we have found what we think is the land. It's amazing. It's been a long and stressful journey. We seriously looked at dozens of pieces of land and walked almost all of them, as you mentioned. Lots of date nights spent looking around. Thousands of acres covered. And we put in several offers in too, across a lot of them. So we thought in this episode, we'd talk about that process for a little bit and kind of save the best for last, which is the land we now have under contract. So where should we
we won't go through all of them because there's so many, but I guess the first one we could start with is the first land that Mike found, and we called it 176. It was 176 acres at a 6-acre lake, and it was unimproved farmland. So that one was the one that sold, but it was actually a good thing, I think.
Yeah, it was. It definitely isn't as good as what we found now.
Right.
But there are a lot of things we liked about it. I really liked that it was very close to our town and accessible from the highways, but still very secluded. You didn't know it existed because it was buffered by wetlands on one side and really deep residential lots on the other sides. So it was very well hidden and very peaceful when we got the chance to spend that 2.5 hours walking around it. We kind of salivated over that one for a little while, but like you said, it was good that we didn't get it. What did you like about it?
The peacefulness. Yeah. It was right next to a pretty busy road, but once you got up on the property, you couldn't hear it. So you felt like you were in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Yep. What about the farmhouse?
The 300 acres?
No, the one closer by on.
Okay.
In Mundy Township.
So that one was beautiful. It didn't have any water. We walked it in the fall. The leaves were beautiful. Everything was changing. Then we walked it again when all the leaves were down, and we look over and we see the dump.
Yeah.
So that was like, thank God though that we walked it
with the leaves down.
Because that's just, it was beautiful, but not.
Yeah, it was very nice. And also with the leaves down, we saw a lot of the subdivisions around it.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't see the first time we looked at it. And just something about peering into a bunch of neighbors' backyards and didn't seem secluded like what we wanted to offer. And we thought we could get away without having any water on it. Maybe have a pond dug to offer some activities. But yeah, the seeing all the neighbors and the dump were kind of the big detractors for it. But it did have a house on it.
Not a livable house.
No, it probably needed to be bulldozed.
Yeah. But it was a farmhouse, so
Yeah.
they're old.
Yeah. Well, what one was next?
I think that was the one on McCaslin.
Yeah.
On a lake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the notorious McCaslin Lake
Yeah.
property.
Yep. Glad we didn't get that one either.
Yeah, that one.
And the reason why too is every time we decided we didn't want, or not even that we decided, one of our offers didn't get accepted, a new piece of land would come along that was even better than the next.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to talk bad about any of the pieces we saw. We considered every piece pretty seriously, but
yeah, that one we had some struggles with that. We shared on social media too as we went through it. It wasn't zoned correctly, so we're gonna have to get some township buy-in and neighbors buy-in. And the problem was we actually couldn't get an offer done either with the sellers. They weren't willing to give it up for the amount of time it'd take for us to do our due diligence. But like you said, that was probably a blessing that we couldn't get an offer accepted, because it had a lot of work to do with it, and I don't think we could have gotten through.
The last one we should probably talk about is that one before this one in Howell, the golf course.
Yeah. That one was cool. We liked it quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was 107 acres, and like you said, it used to be a private, like 9-hole golf course, so it was already...
Trees were in a good spot. We didn't have to come in and take anything down. Lakes were good.
Had trails.
Lots of trails.
Yeah. It was landscaped and just wasn't groomed for maybe 10 years is probably what it amounted to. And that was the one we put in 2 separate cash offers on.
Well, we didn't. Cash offers?
Yeah, we didn't do cash offers. But we did 2. We lost to 2 separate cash offers. We put in 2 offers.
But that was also God's provision too, because we found out that both the offers fell through, and actually the second one, none of the land would perk, so they couldn't get septic on it. Correct?
It'd be very expensive.
Yeah.
If they wanted to do septic.
So
in those locations,
they actually dropped out too, and that property's still on the market. But that was kind of a good thing for us, because it'd be really expensive.
yeah, we didn't need that cost, and so that was great. And that there was just a few more properties in between that one and the one we have under contract now. So why don't you take it away on introducing that one?
Yeah. So this one's in Howell. We won't be too specific on the location, because we want to make sure we get township approval on it. And but this one checks all the boxes. It's zoned correctly. Just needs a special use permit. It has a full water feature, like an almost 50-acre lake on it. Very secluded. Plenty of activities to do, like hiking and snowshoeing, the stuff that I mentioned before. And then also the location is within 10 minutes of downtown and an hour from major cities like Ann Arbor and Detroit. And
yeah.
What do you think?
I just like that we got an offer.
I know.
That's the best. I mean, that's not the best part, but that's we seriously didn't know if we could do that
because we need so much time to get township approval, and lots of prayer, lots and lots of prayer.
Yeah, so. It's like a 6-7 month process to get all that done. So thankfully, the owner gave us a shot at that, and thankfully we didn't get those other pieces of land that we were thought at the time really good options. But yeah, it's got so many great places for glamping structures or accommodations. There's some hills overlooking the lake, or hills overlooking the wetlands. When we got to walk it, I thought it was kind of funny that in my mind, I didn't know what the better view was. Usually you hear a lake view and you think that's got to be the best, but I really like just facing the wetlands away from the residences, because you didn't see any sign of human life or buildings.
Well, and that was the part I loved. It was still beautiful. This was in April, March or April. And all the leaves were gone, so everything's still dead, and it's kind of like gloomy outside and not very pretty. And it was gorgeous there. And it was looking on that side is what it just made you feel out in the middle of nowhere, at peace. And I was like, man, if it's this pretty now, I can't imagine our Michigan fall with all the leaves turning and the winter, how everything looks with snow on it.
Yeah. And it still lived up to its beauty when we went back there a couple weeks ago to check it out with all the leaves
with all the green
in bloom. And so it's truly perfect for what we want to do with Mitten Getaways. We'll certainly spend some more time talking about it in future episodes of the podcast, especially about what we need to do there to bring our dream to life. And we look forward to more episodes.
So thanks for listening to us.
Yeah, that wraps up our first episode. If you have any requests, though, for us to talk about specific topics on future episodes, please don't hesitate to submit them at mittengetaways.com/reach out or email us at glampers@mittengetaways.com. The Mitten Minute, our glamping journey, as it's officially titled, is produced by Woodall's Campground magazine. So a big thank you to them for asking us to host this new podcast. You can check out all episodes of the Mitten Minute podcast at mittengetaways.com/minute. And you can follow our journey in other ways as well by visiting mittengetaways.com/subscribe. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in to our first episode.
See ya.
Have a great day.